What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Chicago Sports Podcast, the Monday night edition. We are the Monsters of the Madhouse. I am your host, Brandon Duplessis, and joined by my better half, Darius Lockhart. How you feel?
Hey, what's good? What's good, everybody?
What's going on, Darius? And the crafty Dustin Jones. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm over it, man. I'm over this team. I need changes. I need to see something different. And I guess that's what we're going to talk about. Bears are doing us wrong, man.
Yeah, I think this is a rough Monday for just about everybody living in this city, guys. So we'll dive right into that. First, I want to talk about. I want to talk about. Has this Bears organization, or this coaching staff, more specifically, failed Caleb Williams? To this point, have they failed Caleb Williams?
Hey, Brandon, before we do that, we got Burks, Ant Mass, Breaking Bruce, Dennis Moody in the building. Just want to say what's up to everybody. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Dustin, I do appreciate it. Breaking news, Bruce, Ant Mass, Dennis Moody, Burks.
Keep the chats coming. Keep the comments coming, guys. You can help steer the show. We will talk about whatever you want to talk about. Promise.
Oh, yeah.
Good, fellas.
So, guys, have the Bears failed Caleb Williams to this point of the season? And if so, how? More importantly. Darius, go ahead. We'll start with you.
Have they failed him? I wouldn't necessarily say failed him, but it's a tad bit disappointing, I think, the obvious with the offensive line, that's the most crucial issue. But more than ever, like your play calling, your lack of making adjustments, things of that nature, it's a bit lackluster, man. And, we still got a good fight going on. We into the mouth of our division, coming this week, starting this Packer week. So, these games, there haven't been a lot of adjustments made, for the last 3 games.
There hasn't been any. There's been none.
None. And you gotta adjust. You can't play everyone the same. Like, everyone's not the Jacksonville Jaguars, fellas. You know what I mean?
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. But failing is a bit strong, because his season, the way his season is shaking out within the first 8 games.
But Darius, hold on. The Jacksonville Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken, hammered the New England Patriots. So they did continue to get teams.
Each game is its different entity. I think Darius was about to get into some stats.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted
No, you're good. But you made a point with that, and they also held Minnesota to 12 points. Go figure, right? But I got like 12 examples of quarterbacks in their rookie season in their first 8 games, and it looks very similar to Caleb's, and the records of the teams are not very good either. For the Bears to be 4-5 is pretty decent, and compared to the examples that I have. But that's why I say failing may not be the right word. Well, it may be too strong, because I think who the Bears failed is the fans, because we all had high expectations. We all expected that things to look a lot different than they do now.
Because they told us to. They told us to.
Right.
Well, here, based on what you just said, Darius, in terms of them comparing him to other rookie quarterbacks and similar statistically, and then the records of the teams, the whole storyline, and it was a legitimate one going into this season, was how often does a team that wins 7 games get the number 1 overall pick in the draft and at a quarterback position? That was very different. That is a very different circumstance than these other guys that you would compare him to, because none of them were drafted by a 7-win team. I'll guarantee you that. So in terms of the expectations and in terms of the success, it's I don't think it's comparable in that regard. In terms of the statistics, sure, it can be comparable, but they are 100% failing Caleb Williams. I don't have a doubt in my mind. The fact that Shane Waldron is not fired today, that's failing Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is checked out on Shane Waldron. You saw it on the bench. He doesn't want to hear what this dude has to say, and he don't want to see him smiling in his face while he's getting his ass kicked. He don't want to
who does, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
situational awareness. That's the biggest issue with this coaching staff. They don't understand what to do in these situations, and they're putting him in a very bad position. You go into a game knowing you're missing your 2 starting tackles, and you allow him to drop back 39 times, Darius. He sacked 9 times. You hand the ball to your running back 17 times. What the fuck are you thinking, Shane Waldron? Yes, he's being put in a position to fail, Darius. It's unequivocal. But
Dustin, let me ask you this. How many of these sacks do we put on Caleb?
A few of them. There was like 2 to 3. There was
how many of these sacks do we put on Caleb? Now, the great thing
I put 3 on him. Now you still got 6, Darius. 6 is a lot. 9 is insane. 6 is still a fucking lot.
9 is diabolical.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But how many of these do we put on Caleb? Like just throughout, not just this game, but throughout. You know what I'm saying?
He tends to hold the ball too long, but that goes back to coaching, Darius.
Right. That goes back to the lack of adjustments that's being made is another thing to go back to coaching, because I don't care how great your line is. If I'm blocking with 5 and you send it 6 or 7,
the math
don't lose.
Yeah, the math.
You know what I'm saying? And Caleb is seeing this. He has to get rid of the football. I think he's scared to make mistakes. You know, which he hasn't. He hasn't. All these hits he didn't took. You didn't see sack fumbles. You didn't see him just throwing the ball in the middle of the field like we've seen a lot of these other quarterbacks do.
He's still being put in a position to fail, though. Just because he's not making the mistake does not mean he's not being put in the position. And Debbie Tuttle says this. Brandon, highlight that one, please. That was the worst game I ever saw against Patriots at Soldier Field. Guys, we can put this in the top 5 of the worst fucking games that the Bears have put on tape in my lifetime, as far as I'm concerned. To lose to that team the way they did, to only be able to score 3 points against that Patriots defense, to not be able to manage more than 1 third down in a game is just it's unacceptable. It's
more sacks than first downs, guys. I do want to give a real quick shout out, guys, to Bridges Scoreboard, your Northwest Indiana sports headquarters, the coldest beer in the Chicagoland area. Guys, go check them out. Trax does a lot of work there. CSP does a lot of work there. They do a lot for us as a sponsor. Sponsor is an understatement when it comes to Bridges, guys. Go check them out. A lot of Chicago athletes, guys, love this place. Really good culture. The staff is really, really friendly. So I do want to get into this, guys. If
this is a great comment by Dennis Moody.
The way he played in the Panthers and Jags game showed you Caleb can play. Caleb was making mistakes, but yeah, that's kind of what Dennis Moody is. It's a perfect. I kind of want to ask.
The line of coaching are awful. Yes.
As much we can discuss. Have the Bears failed Caleb Williams? Are the Bears doing because we saw the games like we did where in Jacksonville he threw the 4 touchdowns, in London where he threw really tight passes to Keenan Allen for those 2 of those touchdowns.
Tight windows.
Are the Bears doing permanent damage to Caleb Williams?
Brandon, I'll go so far as to say he threw one of the best passes I've seen a Bears quarterback throw in that game on Sunday. When he threw it in, it was to Keenan Allen. That window between those 2 defenders was like it was non-existent, basically, and Caleb put it right on his numbers. Caleb can play football, guys. He is a good quarterback. We need to support him. The focus needs to be on how do we keep Caleb from developing and cementing bad habits. This season is done, Darius. The Bears are not going to win games against the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL, not at a clip that's going to get them anywhere but high in the draft. That's as far as I'm concerned. They're not going to the playoffs, guys. So this season,
playoffs is one thing. Playoffs is one. I didn't. With the way this division is going, with the way these other guys are winning games, they're pulling. These other teams are pulling games out their ass. Because we watched Green Bay and we watched Detroit the other night give it away, and they still won.
But Darius, it's not a conversation between the Bears and any other team in this division. The Bears cannot.
No. It is. It has to be, because if the Bears win 10 games and these other teams win 12. They still ain't making the playoffs. You know,
guys, real quick. Hey, guys, real quick. Cliff says, "I'm waiting to see what Foles has to say. He needs to step in and say
said this earlier, Brandon. I said this earlier. Poles should be in front of the media and talking to his fans about what he expects from this team versus what we are seeing from this team and what he's going to do to change something to make those expectations line up with the results, because that's his job. And right now he's very mum. I think when he comes out, it's going to be to announce some changes, some major changes. I think a change is happening this week, Darius. I think Waldron is going to be gone. Waldron needs to be gone, and I don't mean demoted. You don't keep him on this team. That doesn't make any sense. Someone needs to take over play calling, and Waldron needs to be gone. And we need to hear Poles say what he expects for the rest of the season and lay out a marching order. I agree.
Like I asked then, is the damage that's being done permanent, or if we hire a new coach next season, a better coach offensively or overall managing games, can Caleb still become the player Caleb was drafted to after a season long of this?
Of course he can.
He can, but you worry about it. We've seen this. We've seen this movie before, Darius.
Yeah, but we haven't had the same actors. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. But it's the same script. So, these actors got to
and V-Dog makes a good point. I don't think they're doing permanent damage, Brandon. Remember, he played behind a crappy line at USC, and he is still the same player that he was at Oklahoma.
Caleb is resilient.
Spencer Rattler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Caleb is resilient. Caleb is hardworking. Caleb is smart. Caleb will be okay, I think. But you do worry about them if he's not getting the right coaching. If they're not teaching him how to get some of these bad habits out of his game, these bad habits that carried over with him from USC to the NFL, if they're not coaching those things out of him, you do worry that those habits get cemented. That happens all the time in the NFL, guys, and really good players that you thought would be really good turn out to be busts. And a lot of times it comes down to coaching and situation. That's just facts.
I don't know, man. I think it comes down to the player, man. Because
it's a combination of both.
Everybody can't translate from college to pro. It doesn't work like that. Everybody's not built the same. Everybody can't take, can't handle harsh issues. These guys that can't play because they can't handle things off the field. You know what I mean?
What evidence do we have that Caleb is not that person right now?
Yeah, Caleb's not that person. That's why I say, listen.
What evidence do we have of that?
He's not he's not crumbling. He's still standing in front of the media. Ain't been no outburst. Ain't been a shitload of turnovers. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't given up. You know what I'm saying? And he still throws the ball with the same velocity. You know what I'm saying? They may not catch it. You know what I'm saying? Or he may not hit the target, but you can still see Caleb standing in the pocket strong. He's not wilting.
So let me ask this. Hold on, Darius. Let me ask this question. How much of Caleb Williams' woes are due to coaching, and how much are strictly responsible by Caleb Williams, the quarterback himself?
Yeah, if it's on the player, then it's on the player, right?
I think 75% of it is due to lack of making adjustments and play calling.
Okay, but if you say that, then how can you not say that the coaching or lack thereof can impact his career and how he's going to go forward? If 75% of what you're seeing right now comes down to that coaching.
Because you're not going to keep the same coach. We already know that. You know what I'm saying? But him as a player, I don't think you can ruin great players.
I think we see great players ruined all the time in the NFL, and I think this Bears organization is a pretty damn good example.
Give me some names of Bears quarterbacks that left that city and went somewhere else and was great.
No, they weren't. They were done. Mitch Trubisky was done before it started.
Trubisky wasn't. No, we all knew Mitch.
Jay Cutler was a solid player in Denver before he came here, right?
Good. We all knew Mitch Trubisky was no good when he was picked. We all
Cliff makes
like the pick. I agree.
Cliff makes a good point. Manning and LA both had terrible rookie seasons.
You have to have patience.
A lot of Hall of Fame quarterbacks. A lot of Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You have to have quality rookie seasons, and Caleb Williams, I believe, is a player who is talented enough to get beyond an entire season of bad coaching.
Okay, but do you put it, having been Bears fans your entire lives, guys, do you put it past this organization to fuck him up?
I've never known us to have be great at quarterback all my life. We've never been great at quarterback. Jay Cutler's been the best quarterback we've ever had.
I felt the same way coming into the season.
He was what he was before he got here.
Confidence.
Well, Dustin, I think what you're asking is who do you hire? Who do you hire for coach next season? That's what's going to dictate. Question. That's what's going to dictate what happens to Cam.
First, you have to fire the guy you have who has the job right now.
True.
Yeah.
First, you have to fire the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Are the Bears bold enough to do that? And then second, are you going to hire a guy who sees to it that is the most important thing, not his job as a winner, but that he's going to make Caleb Williams what he's supposed to be?
Well, I think the most important thing is they need to hire a guy with some nuts.
To tell this organization, let me do my fucking job.
Yeah, that's gonna hold people accountable. Not just the court. Like, I'm looking beyond the quarterback because I think the quarterback got enough in him to make his own adjustments. I think the person that gets hired for this job attaches the quarterback to a guy. You know what I'm saying? That can
Darius. At this point, we're asking for a guy who even just holds himself accountable because we're not even getting.
No, that's what I'm saying. A guy that comes in there, hold the team accountable, hold himself accountable when he messes up. But we need a leader of men here. We got a whole bunch. Yes,
that's
man.
Exactly the word. That's exactly the word. And that's a guy like Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel in my mind. In terms of bringing a rookie head coach to this organization, I don't trust it. Ben Johnson might be a great head coach, but this organization is so dysfunctional. Like you said, Darius, we need somebody who has the nuts to say, you hired me to be the football coach. Let me coach the fucking football team. You need the GM to be like, you hired me to be the GM. Let me do my job. Stop getting involved in these things because what you've been doing does not work. So if what has not been working will then be transplanted onto another rookie head coach. You need a guy who will bring in a culture to this Bears team and an identity because this Bears team does not have one.
Speaking of getting involved, Mass asked, it was said that Caleb had the power to change the play. If that's true, then what are the thoughts now?
But see, that's the thing for me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That's the thing for me. Why are you getting Caleb so much of this power so soon? You know what I'm saying? You're hiding behind a rookie as an OC. You're hiding behind this rookie for when the mistakes come. You can say, well, Caleb made that adjustment, or Caleb has to fall on the
floor. Why are you giving him that power?
Yeah, like, okay, it's cool to give him a little leeway, but still understand this is not a third, fourth year pro that you're dealing with.
There were multiple times that Caleb checked out of run plays in that game, just on this Sunday.
And even though Caleb made the mistake, I blame those guys on the sideline.
We're letting him do it.
He shouldn't even be in that position.
And that's kind of a weird turn because as fans, we were pretty excited to feel like we had a quarterback that could make those plays adjustments at the line. It felt good to have a quarterback that was actually doing that, but it seems like it's a detriment to the rhythm and the flow of this offense at this point. V-Dog has a point here that I want to touch on. It says, yo, Dustin, I'm not out on Caleb as being that guy, but first and foremost, Matt Eberflus and Chris Morgan must go. I don't think we're talking about
must go.
Emo enough. Now here, I do want to say this. Caleb is that guy in my mind. I just don't put it past this organization to ruin him. It is a possibility, whether you guys want to admit it or not. It is a possibility. Caleb is a hell of a player, and I think he will be a good quarterback if this Bears organization does right by him. It's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street. Chris Morgan, we talked about this weeks ago on the 4-star Chicago Sports House Hall Hangover. The guy is just not good at his job, and I agree with you 100%, V-Dog. And it sounds like Darius does too. Chris Morgan is a problem for this team. He needs to go. Now, it's tough when your whole entire offensive line is hurt and banged up. It's not an easy job to do, but that's why you get compensated so well to do this job.
Right.
I think
be gone. Morgan,
and there was a mistake
can take Morgan with him when he walks out the door.
I think Dustin's right. I think coaching's just important as the quarterback himself in regards to their success. And I think right now in regards to what we're seeing right now, it's a one-way road.
It's like Caleb, you fix all these problems that we're putting in front of you.
Like it's not enough teaching. It's not enough teaching being done. It's not enough, it's not enough detail-oriented shit being done. And you can tell the guys from the Patriots, the defensive guys from the Patriots said through their film study, the last, the last couple of games,
offense,
they knew the plays.
Yeah.
They knew them.
Guys,
So that means the offensive coordinator is not doing their job.
Guys, speaking of a one-way road, if you just cross the road from Bridges Scoreboard in Northwest Indiana, you can go to Serendipity Ice Cream Power right across the street, guys. Serendipity Ice Cream Power serving up heaven, guys. We recommend the delectable funnel cake sundae. How good does that not sound?
I love a funnel cake sundae.
I mean, come on, a funnel cake by itself. You can slap a funnel cake on a salad and I'll eat it. Guys, go check out Serendipity Ice Cream. We do thank Serendipity Ice Cream for sponsoring us, guys. Sorry to cut you off. Let's get back in the conversation. We do have a lot of chats coming in, guys. So
let's go on to another part.
Let's dive into a few of these.
Yeah,
I want to see. I think Cliff says, I think Caleb will be okay. He's a tough guy, needs the coaches to do better, needs an O-line. We agree with that, Cliff. Also, if the Bears lose versus Green Bay, I'm hoping they lose every game and take the best O-line player in the draft. I think when it comes to an offensive line, you're not hoping. I think if you're somewhere between 10 and 15, it won't change.
You get a solid guy.
It won't change drastically from 5 to 10.
But there's a big difference between Joe Alt and Amarius Mims, too.
Okay. Dennis Moody, guys, Dennis Moody says something I really want to talk about. I'm more concerned about Darnell Wright than I am Caleb. Guys, Darnell Wright right now, I can't remember his PFF ranking, but he's somewhere well beyond 10 for right tackles in the NFL.
And they drafted him in the top 10 last year, guys.
Yeah, he is not a top 10 ranked right tackle.
He looks out of shape, man. He looks out of shape.
Now, Darnell Wright, mind you, does have to make up for the woes. You know what I mean? There's players next to him. There's been guys plugged in and out of this line. But is Darnell Wright a concern for anybody when it comes to, you're talking about revamping this offensive line at left tackle and center and guards? And is right tackle something you're comfortable with moving forward?
I am. I mean, it's the most comfortable position. This is the position I'm most comfortable with on this offensive
on the line. Yeah.
And if Dennis Moody's saying he's concerned about Darnell Wright, well, that's very concerning. If we're most comfortable with Darnell Wright, and we got people who don't have confidence in him, right? That's a little scary.
I think the only issue, I think there's an issue that no one's really talking about. Really, it's the fact that the organization chose to marry Shane Waldron and Chris Morgan together. You know, usually OCs come in with their own, O-line coaches or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
They will be, Debbie. They will be. Sorry.
The fact that you married these two guys together, it's a clear indication that these guys, from the standpoint of philosophy, it doesn't mix. Like, anytime shit looks this bad, it's not all about the ability of the guys up front. I'm sorry. Because I've seen bad offensive lines, bro. But this is deeper than those guys' ability up front. It's deeper than that.
It's deeper than that in this way too, guys, because this Bears offensive line is, if you're looking at the PFF stats, well, there's not a lot of good stats to go off with the offensive line. You can go off your eye test for the most part. Yeah. But in terms of those rankings, they're middle of the pack, which we all said if they are middle of the pack, that should be good enough. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking not even close to good enough. Well, that's concerning too, isn't it? Because Caleb Williams.
That's why Chris Morgan has to go, bro.
Yeah. And Caleb Williams does hold the ball for a lot longer than he should in a lot of cases. Darius, he does. It's
no doubt about it.
It's a
thing. Guys, so I want to talk about when it comes to blame. We talk about obviously Shane Waldron first and foremost. That's where the magnifying glass is, most focused. But has Ryan Poles failed Matt Eberflus in any way, shape, or form in regards to the players and the depth at the positions that are most often injured on this Bears?
Well, I'll say this first and foremost. There's not a lot of teams that are ready to account for depth-wise, are ready to account for losing both of your starting tackles and then your starting left guard in the middle of a game. There's not a lot of teams that have enough depth to be prepared for that to happen. How many times can you guys think of a team losing its two starting tackles going into a game and then losing its starting left guard? That doesn't happen often. But no, Ryan Poles has not failed Matt Eberflus. This is a talented roster, definitely more talented than the last two teams that they've played in my mind. And I think it's the other way around. And I think Darius will echo this. Matt Eberflus is failing Ryan Poles. Matt Eberflus is failing this Bears team and the players on it. And they're failing the fans, man. They're failing.
Yeah,
the fans.
I mean, because we had, regardless of who they played against, the formula that they had against those teams, it worked. You know what I mean? You have to stick with what works. You can't come into a game. You can adjust to the things that's working, no doubt about it. But you have to keep the things that you're successful, that gives you success. You have to keep that with you going into the next game. Now you can't make adjustments off of those particular plays or those particular formations. You can turn them into something else. You don't have to run the same damn plays all the time. But there's a foundation with the Bears that we've seen work. And this guy calling these plays and making choices to go against what's working blows my mind, bro. Like, it's clear when 𝐂𝐐_𝐒 is in the lineup, when you feature 𝐂𝐐_𝐒, the offense runs so much better. When you
Debbie mentioned that in the chat earlier, how disappointing it is how little 𝐂𝐐_𝐒 has been involved in this offense.
When you run the ball on a consistent basis, if you get 5 yards off a first down on the run, you don't go in the empty, bro.
Yeah, and you don't go into play action after having one decently successful run play. You got to kind of make them stop it, make them think about the run, and then hit them with the play action when they're actually expecting the run. Because you're hitting them with play action, it seems like, when the defense is expecting you to hit them with play action. You know, it's like you're playing into their hands.
That's
honestly.
all New England did yesterday. That's all Washington did when we played Washington. That's all damn Arizona did.
Like I said, man, last week against the Cardinals, the Bears handed the ball 19 times to running backs, dropped Caleb back 40 plus times. This week against New England, they dropped Caleb back 39 times, and they ran the ball to running backs 17 times. They ran it less to running backs this week than they did last week, when it was clear that was going to be what they were going to be successful doing. And guess what? The teams that they played against ran the ball 30 times to running backs, and they dominated the game. So what is Shane Waldron not seeing that we as fans sitting on our couches are fucking seeing? It doesn't make sense.
Well, let me ask you. So let me
league with rookie quarterbacks are seeing the same thing we see.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, guys. Then, is there any way that Shane Waldron retains his position as offensive coordinator, but not play calling for the Chicago Bears?
Fuck no. He needs to go. He needs to go all the way out of the building. He needs to be gone. They need to escort him out of the building. They need to move his. If they keep him,
I don't think they need to escort him.
No, they
don't
do.
have to worry about that.
He needs to be made a fool. If they keep him in the building, they need to put his desk in the basement, like dude from Office Space,
and not give him a stapler.
I didn't get my check last week. Yeah. What's going on?
And don't give him a stapler either.
Yeah, ain't no sense of being classy about it, man.
Guys, V-Dog is going to this, so I just want to comment on it. He mentioned that Kreutz and Manley could not even identify what the O-line was calling in terms of their cadences, and that's his main point when it comes to Chris Morgan not being fit for the job. Like,
right.
If 2 seasoned veteran offensive linemen who've had success in the NFL can't even decipher your cadences, then you're doing something wrong. So I just wanted to point that out for V-Dog, because he made the point a couple times. And
shout out to V-Dog, man. Shout out to V-Dog.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Dennis Moody,
Yeah, guys, you guys are killing it. You're hard to keep up with, but we appreciate it. V-Dog also says, V-Dog, hold on, Darius. V-Dog says, the follow-up question for y'all, if Olin has difficulty to know what your play calling is that more of an indictment on CMO?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what we were just talking about when you stepped out for a second.
I mean, because the players don't know, and they ain't in the fucking building with them. You can tell. Like, listen, man. You can tell. You can look at it and tell, man. They have no idea. That's why I said it's deeper than those guys' ability. Like, we all know that those are not no all pros up front. We all understand that we don't have that. But it's ways that you can, you know what I'm saying, you can help those guys out, man. And I just don't think they're being coached properly, man. That marriage between Waldron and
Chris
the
Morgan.
O-line, Chris Morgan, it's a bad one. And the Bears did the wrong thing with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're going to have a new offensive coordinator come into your system, why would you not have a guy that they're familiar with, that's familiar with their offensive scheme, that you can marry them together in a more unified way, Darius? That's a very good point you're making. Like, why? If I'm hiring a head coach, I want him to pick his staff. Eberflus has picked this staff, and it hasn't gone well. But if I'm hiring an offensive coordinator, Kerry Joseph comes over with him as the quarterback's coach. And Chad Morton came over as well, right? So I mean,
he was here.
Not Chris Morgan was here already.
Chad Morton, the running backs coach.
Oh yeah.
He was in Seattle as well. So why are you saying, okay, come on over, bring your offense, you're going to do great with us, but the offensive line coach is going to be the same piece of shit that was here last year? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
And see, I think that was another thing when it came down to hiring an OC. They had to find a guy that was okay with Chris Morgan still being here. And it's like, fuck no, man.
Yeah, let me have my guys so I can run my system the way I know how to run it, and with a guy who knows how to run it as well. Yes. It's ass backwards. It's what this Bears organization does. It's constantly like, okay, well, you can have the job, but you got to keep this guy in this position, or you can have the job. Who does that in the NFL besides the Bears? Maybe it happens and we just don't see it because we're not focused on them. But it seems to me like it's a very rare thing in the NFL for that to happen, and the Bears are culprits of it quite often, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I just look at and I hate to keep referencing this, but I look at other teams and other QBs around this league who had to go through coach after coach after coach. They're still very good quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, listen, it's a time where you have to say to a coach, you're not good enough. You know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily bringing us down, but you damn sure ain't bringing us up. So it's time for us to move on. And
if you're not bringing them up, then which way? You're not standing still.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you do us no good if we stand, at one level. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go and you have to find somebody that's gonna bring a fucking attitude.
Hold on, Darius. So let me ask you this, because from the way it's been reported, is Matt Eberflus was kind of one of Ryan Pohl's choices.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of came into this.
It was whittled down to Dan Quinn and Matt Eberflus at that point.
He was brought into this organization with choices. Mm-hmm. Do you have faith in Ryan Pohl's in an open sea, right? Like an open pool? Mm-hmm. Do you have faith in Ryan Pohl's making the right decision for not only the head coach, but a head coach who can bring along offensive coordinators, defensive, can hire guys who will give this team a different culture and make Caleb Williams the best player he should be? Can Ryan Pohl's bring that here?
I do. I have faith in Ryan Pohl's. Now, the only problem I
have a follow-up question to this too, and I want to hear from both of you.
The only problem I have is the people above Ryan Pohl's, because that's where the issue.
So my follow-up question is:
well, what about the people below Ryan Pohl's that he chose? He doubled down on Eberflus, Darius.
No doubt about it. He made the choice
to bring Eberflus back. That was the wrong choice. It was the wrong decision. That's clear as day.
No doubt about it.
Right?
No doubt about it. But I feel like
Brandon Trax in the building, guys. So Darius, let me ask you this: can Pohl's hire a coach without the influence of George McCaskey?
It's not George. Like, I think he can. I think it's more of a Kevin Warren for me.
Kevin Warren's never been involved in the hiring of
Kevin Warren is more for the business side of things.
Kevin Warren had a huge influence on why Jim Harbaugh's not here.
Yeah, that's a problem.
This is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far, Darius, how far does that extend beyond Pohl's just saying to Kevin Warren, Flus is my guy, regardless of Kevin Warren disliked Jim Harbaugh. Did Flus even get there? Or did Poles even get there? I don't think he did.
Guys, I don't think we can have this conversation without acknowledging the fact that this organization and the owners have always put their fingers on the football operations of this team, and it's never led to good things.
McCaskey,
you would expect them to be involved in this, and they should not be. You hire football people to make football decisions. Let them do their job. That's the problem with this organization. Going back,
because what's the point of hiring them? What's the point of hiring if you ain't trusting them?
How much faith do we have in McCaskey letting Poles hire a coach? And Poles letting that coach hire coordinators that make this team successful?
I have none. Their hands will be in the cookie jar.
V-Dog says, I trust management, but will George interfere?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And I think that if you're going to try to predict the future, you're going to look at the past. And in the past, that is what consistently happens with this organization. And it's what leads to a lot of the mistakes in this organization. I mean, I can't have faith that they will do it differently this time. They need to. Yeah. Will they? That's a whole different thing to get into.
I think so. And I keep shout out to Cliff Victoria. I keep seeing people saying that Kevin Warren's main job, is the stadium, but he has an influence. He has a huge influence in, who comes and who goes up there too.
Well, they brought it. If you watch Hard Knocks, they brought Kevin Warren in to go over the DJ Moore contract and make sure like he signed off on it. So yeah, when Poles is making a football decision when it comes to money, Kevin Warren is overseeing it. I don't think Kevin Warren is sticking his nose in Poles' business when it comes to, are we re-signing DJ Moore? When Poles says we need to re-sign DJ Moore, Kevin Warren is not saying, no, we're not re-signing DJ Moore. He's not going to step into it that way. It comes down to the financials is how Kevin Warren was involved. So that's the way I interpret that is like, are you signing off on the business side of this being okay with the football side of this and those two things aligning? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you okay with him re-signing on DJ Moore because of DJ Moore's production on the field, but Kevin Warren wanted Eberflus gone after last season, just like a lot of other people.
Okay, so that furthers my point, Darius. If he wanted him gone and he was the person who was making those decisions, then why did it not fucking happen?
Well, the thing about it,
Poles made that decision.
Let me ask you this though. Ted Phillips, the previous president of this team, was involved in every decision that the Bears general manager made. When it came to anything, contracts or hiring of the head coach. Well, is Kevin Warren? Is he different in terms of will he just let Poles do what Poles needs to do?
He trusted Ryan Poles' word on Eberflus, but he expressed the fact that
Darius, will he stay out of the hiring of a head coach?
I think Kevin Warren will.
He can't, man.
I think Kevin Warren will. I don't know about the McCaskies.
Will Kevin Warren protect Poles from the McCaskies?
In terms of letting him be autonomous in his decision? Yes. I don't think he can. Nobody can. The McCaskies are the ultimate. They have the last say. It's their franchise. So as long as that is their motive and their modus operandi is to get involved in these things, no one's going to stop them from doing it because you can't. They're the boss. They're the ultimate boss. How do you stop them from doing that?
I mean,
we got over 40 in the chat. I just want to give a shout out.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe.
Trax is in here now. Cliff.
Trax says, "Let's draft the Georgia Bulldog coach with the first pick." With their first pick in the NFL draft, the Bears draft.
I don't want a college coach, man. I'm sorry.
No, like I said, man, we just touched on it. I want a guy who's vetted, who's done this before, who brings a culture that they can establish because this team needs that desperately.
Yeah, desperately. And I'm out on Belichick. He's too old, man.
You know what I need desperately?
I'm not out on Belichick. I listen to him every week on all these podcasts. This dude still knows football very well. He still knows how to run a team.
But how long he gonna coach? Huh? How long he gonna coach? Like, we want somebody here.
No, he's 5 years older than Andy Reid, so it's like Andy Reid just won a Super Bowl last year, man. I mean, Bill Belichick just won a Super Bowl in 2018. What's up, Sean Lugo? How you doing? I just know that they need someone to set them on a course going forward. Maybe Bill Belichick is only here for a few years and then he calls it quits. But in that time that he's here, I do know that you will know who the Bears are. He will establish an identity for this team.
I think Vrabel can do it.
I take a Mike Vrabel too.
Yeah, I think Vrabel can do it.
Vrabel can do it too. Vrabel's a guy who has done it. You've seen him
You guys
That's
can
what I
know.
want.
You know who else established an identity? Chris Chelios with El Bandito Yankee Tequila, guys. If you're enjoying a Chicago Bears game on a Sunday, make sure you have El Bandito Yankee Tequila, but enjoy responsibly. Dustin,
Highlight that V-Dog comment. Highlight that V-Dog comment because it's touching on what we've been talking about. The one towards the bottom there.
I can't see none of that.
Well, click on your comments on the side. You'll see them. Just so you all know, Kevin Warren's role is president, but the football ops will be Ryan Poles and Cunningham. But the whole operation is a shared vision between the three per senior insider Courtney Cronin. We appreciate that. And like I said, I just don't know that Kevin Warren is going to stop Ryan Poles from making a football decision. I don't think that he will, but I think the McCaskies will. I think they have, and I think they will. So that's my concern. It's not Kevin Warren in terms of letting Poles execute his vision. It's the McCaskies. And we have very good reason to feel that way as Bears fans because we've seen it in the past.
Sean says we need tequila with this team. I agree with you, Sean. And then Dennis Moody says something there. Belichick would bring Josh McDaniels with him. Dennis, I think the point of bringing a guy like Bill Belichick in is it doesn't matter who he brings with him, is who he brings with him.
Yeah,
that's kind of the point in hiring a Bill Belichick is you're not going to dispute. Sure, when you sit down for an interview with Bill Belichick, you're going to ask him some questions about who he intends on his potential staff might be. Sure, you're not going to tell Bill Belichick who he's going to hire, and if Bill Belichick tells you Josh McDaniels is the best coordinator to make this offense succeed, you have to have faith in. That's the point.
Yeah, if you hire him, then that's his job is to decide that. And Josh McDaniels has shown that he can be a great offensive coordinator in this league. He's just not a good head coach. He's not a good head coach.
Which Dustin said a few weeks ago on the bare minimum. Kingsbury is kind of the same guy. Feels
guys are just good offensive coordinators, and that's okay. Let them play their role. I mean, I don't want to be giving Josh McDaniels or Kingsbury.
Look at Arthur Smith on the Steelers right now.
He's killing it, but he was an awful head coach in Atlanta. You know, some guys are just made to be that offensive coordinator, and that's okay. That's okay.
How you feel about Eric Bieniemy?
I haven't thought about Eric Bieniemy.
He's a head coach. No,
is he in the league?
No, he's at UCLA.
Yeah. I don't want any part of that. No, offensive coordinator coming out of KC, man, underneath Andy Reid. Andy Reid has so much to do with that offense and how it runs. Like it
does. His influence is all over it.
Yeah, man, and it's just like Andy Reid is such a good head coach. Like he might make these guys look better than we saw that with Matt Nagy in terms of his ability to call a game is different than his ability.
John says Kevin Warren wanted Eberflus gone, and it was
Poles who said no. That's what Darius is saying, and that just furthers my point that Kevin Warren is not stepping on his toes when it comes to the football operations, when it comes to the football decisions, and that's good. That's what you want.
B-Dog, you made me almost vomit in my mouth.
But I think
would you all go after a former backup Super Bowl QB? Doug? Absolutely not.
I can't believe Doug Peterson still has a job for the Jaguars.
And I don't know if when he's fired that he becomes an offensive coordinator of any NFL team. I think that guy maybe he's a head coach for a Division II college football team. Chris Moody started drinking game during press conference. Take a drink when Caleb says and Flu says he will die from alcohol.
We're not at that point in the process yet. We're in the process of processing that game that we're going to create for a drinking game, Dennis Moody. But, we're in the process of evaluating the process of how we're going to execute that process. And we'll get back to you when we have an answer. Okay.
Yeah, it's
all really just a process.
That's like when
it's just the process.
That's like when Nagy trying to find out the whys. Anytime I hear somebody say that, I lose my mind.
Yeah, we got to find the answers in here. No, I don't think you have the answers because if you had them, we'd be seeing them on the field. We'd be seeing that in results. I don't think you have
answers. You'd be answering questions.
Yep. And instead of just jumbling a bunch of words together, acting like you're making some sense. I don't want to hear about the process from you anymore, Eberflus. Your process sucks, and the results speak for themselves, and that's what it is.
So I'm asking you guys this. There's been a few reports. I don't know if you guys have seen this over the course of the week that state. I haven't seen this actually credible anywhere, but
Dennis says I sounded just like Flus. Thanks, Dennis. I've been working on that all day.
The fourth quarter, but. We're
in the first quarter of the season.
God damn it, I lost it. I lost it all.
Oh, dude, V-Dog says, love watching Cap and J Hood this morning. Cap lit his ass up. Cap started asking him hard questions, and then Flus's phone conveniently went out.
Yeah.
And Cap was like, Coach, your phone is as bad as the Bears' offense is right now.
But see, that's the stuff I'm talking about, man. The guy has no fight, bro. He had stand up to it, man. Own it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Grab your nuts when you on the phone with Cap and tell him how you really feel. Like, if these are true emotions, can't nobody argue with you, bro. Because at the end, you don't owe outsiders anything.
You're the one who has the job. You're the one whose ass is on the line. You need to do it your way for sure.
Yeah, you don't owe.
Yeah, you don't.
Guys, what I was going to say is it was reported. It was reported that no matter what happens this season, Poles will not fire Matt Eberflus. Is there any validity to that?
Well, who was that reported by?
Well,
where did you get that?
I heard that too.
I don't
sorry
know.
to check your sources. You just
say
these things.
I mean, come on, man. Call me out. If I had the source, I would have. If I had the source, I would have stated it. You got to ask.
You gotta start having those sources when you say these things.
I'm the source that confirms you're a douchebag.
Go
ahead.
Look, I heard that too. So what I have to say about that? All right, Pose. If that's the way you feel, you better have your shit in some boxes too.
Yeah.
If you're gonna line yourself up with this guy,
he already has.
Listen, you're gonna have to have your shit in boxes too, because both of y'all can go.
Guys, Cleveland just beat the Bulls 119-113. Donovan Mitchell had 36 points.
They're still undefeated. Is that
Cleveland has not lost a game? That team is ridiculous.
Hey, shout out to the Bulls for putting up a fight. I went and seen them. I went and saw them Sunday, Monday, Tuesday night.
Sounds pretty made up, Darius.
Nah, I went to see. I got.
Where's your source on this, Darius?
I got pictures, man.
Yeah, Darius.
Yeah, I got pictures, man. But I went to see them when they played the Hawks.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
Good effort, man. Good effort, man. Seen a lot of fighting in the team, man.
Yeah, their effort lasted till about the fourth quarter, and then they're done. The Bulls are done in the fourth quarter. They got nothing left at that point.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to ask you this. I hate even asking the question. We talked about it before the show, but I do want to ask. Is there any regret in Caleb Williams for a decision he obviously had no control over, no matter how much leverage he had as a prospect? Is there any regret in Caleb Williams for being drafted to the Chicago Bears? God, it just got real sad real fast.
No, I mean, it's not sadness, man. It's more like a bit of frustration and anger.
That we're even talking about that, or
that we have to go there with all the bad examples we've had at quarterback.
Yeah, but Darius, the reality is it is this revolving cycle, and it is happening again. Caleb is stuck inside. There was actually media sources that when those bullshit claims came out that Caleb didn't want to be a Bear, a lot of the tabloids, if you will, used this very reason. Like Caleb, he'll get hot, he'll get drafted, the coach will get fired, and he'll get stuck in a new system, and it'll happen. It's like, here we are. Is there any regret, guys? Even deep down inside Caleb's heart or in mind, is there any regret?
No, Caleb's a professional, dude. Caleb's a professional. I don't think he has that in his head. I really don't. I think he's just thinking about how to be better this week against the Green Bay Packers. I think that's what Caleb is thinking about. He's on to the next one.
You think he's like the robot answer that these guys all put?
No, I don't know.
No. In a good way. Like he's
legitimately
is thinking about next week. Yeah, no, that's what I meant in a good way.
No, for sure. Listen, V-Dog said Adam Rank said that no matter how these final 8 weeks go, Flus will stay. We had Adam Rank on the show. He was a great guest. I hope that that's not true. I hope Adam Rank is wrong. I hope his sources are as questionable as Brandon's in this case.
Okay, if you choose to keep Flus, because hey guys, let's face it, he's a defensive coordinator, and his side and what he specializes in, is doing their job. Okay,
Dustin, I remembered my source. It was V-Dog.
All right, well, that's pretty credible.
Thanks for coming through, V-Dog.
But the
Slick
question for
sophistication.
me,
Poles messed up when he didn't get a new coach with Caleb and tried to be great. Yeah, no, you should have reset everything at that point. When you're going with a new quarterback, I think you got to go with a new regime in that case, man. And Eberflus, I guess he earned the shot, but we're seeing what he is. We're seeing what he's capable of, and it's 7 wins. That's what Eberflus is going to get you guys.
That's his ceiling, huh?
Yep. And Dennis Moody asked, what is the perfect outcome? Fire Flus, Waldron, and Semo, get the right coach and nail the draft? Yes, that's the perfect outcome. That's an easy question. Yes, hopefully we do those things in Chicago and we turn a page on this season, because this season's done, guys. Bears are not competing for a playoffs. The Bears are not competing in this division. If anyone thinks that the Bears can compete in this division after what they've put on the field the last few weeks, I have to question. I question myself for thinking the Bears were going to win this Sunday. I question myself for thinking that. I just thought the Patriots are so bad, the Bears have to win this game. But I wasn't looking at how bad the Bears actually are.
You start to feel like a White Sox fan, right? It's embarrassing to be a Bears fan, guys. I actually work with a Patriots fan. It was tough to walk into work today. Knowing like I had to answer to that, because like this Bears team was we were talking about playoffs. And the team was projected by Vegas to be the worst team in the NFL. Just whooped your ass.
Yeah, going into that game, they were projected to still have the number 1 overall pick in this draft, and they probably still do have the best odds to get the number 1 overall pick in this draft. And the Bears just put up 142 yards against them, guys.
Yeah,
142 yards.
The Bears have the last 3 weeks. They've been consistently bad on offense. You know what I mean? Actually, it's getting worse because it was 3 points this week, 9 points last week. The week before that was 15.
Yeah.
So facing the Packers, anything
we're gonna have -3 by the math.
Yeah. Anything
just going down by 6 every week.
Anything more than a donut is progression. You know what I'm saying? So
Cliff Victoria says if the Bears play the way they have been, 40-6 Green Bay is his prediction. And that's with Malik Willis potentially at quarterback.
The defense is coming. The defense is coming to the party, but they need help. And the last 3 weeks, the offense has not been giving them the help they need.
All right, so let me ask you,
they're asking them to stand on their heads and carry the game, and they're going to break.
Well, no, not even carry the game.
Let's dive into this.
Oh, they are asking the defense to do that.
Who's the offensive coordinator if Waldron is relieved?
Thomas Brown.
Yeah, it has to be someone internal. No one's coming.
Brown. Yeah, you ain't bringing somebody from the outside. It's got to be Thomas Brown. I don't think it should be Kerry Joseph. Thomas Brown has the previous experience. It makes the most sense. That's what it should be. That's what I'm hoping it'll be tomorrow when we wake up, like an early Christmas present. They fire Waldron and they put Thomas Brown in charge of this offense. And anything that they do has to be better than what Waldron has been doing. It has to be.
Yeah. And the thing with the new guy, I think he's learning from the shit he's seeing. You know what I mean? He's going to make a clear effort to to simplify things for Caleb and the rest of those guys on offense.
Thomas Brown has to be watching this offense thinking, I could do so much fucking better with this team than Shane Waldron.
Bro.
He has to be.
Have to.
Mm-hmm. Give him the shot, man. Find out if you have a decent offensive coordinator on your staff, because right now, Waldron is not it, guys. He's not it, and he needs to be gone. I don't think that Flus has a choice in this matter, really. It'll be Flus's choice, but I don't think he has a choice. He has to do something to change something with this offense and what they've been putting up, because it's been disastrous. And Brian Poles can't wear that egg on his face, guys. He went and traded for Keenan Allen. He went and drafted Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze with his first 2 picks in the top 10. He went and signed DeAndre Swift. This offense was supposed to be better. Poles cannot wear that on his face, dude. He can't.
And Poles came into the season saying that he had full confidence in the guys that he had set up for this offensive line as well. Let's not
And then
forget
just
that.
another year, Chicago says right here, Darius, Ryan Poles has failed Caleb Williams by not addressing the trenches. In 3 drafts, Poles has taken 6 offensive linemen. 2 aren't even on the roster anymore, and the other 4 are constantly injured. Yeah. So, like, Poles has tried. Poles has put assets into this offensive line.
Yeah,
He just continues to miss. He continues to miss.
Yeah, he's missing like a month.
But yeah, like we were saying, if he had complete confidence in this offensive line going into the season, that makes you question Poles, because I didn't have complete confidence in this offensive line going into the season.
But I don't think any of us
just average.
I don't think any of us foreseen the fact, like you said before, I don't think anybody foreseen the fact that you're gonna lose both tackles and the guard.
Yeah, like I said, it just don't happen, man.
Like you lose 2 tackles,
being prepared for that.
2 tackles and 3 guards.
And then just another year adds on.
Because Bates just came back yesterday.
Just another year adds on. Along with that, 5 free agents, all who are either injured, gone, or Nate Davis.
Right.
Who is hopefully
V-Dog says Albert Breer said today that on the herd that he's heard that the past couple of days, Flus is most likely out of here. It's a financial decision because both share former player turned agent Trace Armstrong.
And see,
that's another thing. Both you mean Poles and Flus share the same agent?
That's another guy. That's another guy that got too much of an imprint on his damn team. Trace Armstrong. He don't even play no more. You know what I'm saying? He's an agent that has too much influence on the Bears.
Okay, in what way? Be more specific, Darius, please.
He just had you're hiring everybody. You're hiring everybody the Bears hiring has some type of ties to Trace Armstrong.
Interesting.
You know, and come on, man. Like, that's just too much. You know?
It's like, are you doing him a favor? Or
what are you? And then, beforehand, it was rumors that Trace Armstrong, before Poles, that Trace Armstrong
could be the GM.
Yeah.
I remember.
Come on now. What are we doing here, man?
And just another year says Trace Armstrong is a Packers fan. We were talking about that on the 4 Stars show, the House Hall Hangover, before this, where like Bill Polian and Ernie Accorsi might be double agents who actually work for the Packers, because like they keep telling the Bears to hire these awful fucking coaches.
And Trace Armstrong is fitting the description as well, bro.
Dustin, I want to ask you guys both. I'll start with you, Dustin.
What's up, dude?
What is the potential, I guess the ceiling of a team who requires an entirely new regime, right? Coaching staff top to bottom, and has 8 draft picks with the roster they have. Let's even say they lose Keenan Allen. How good can this team be with a new coaching staff and a new offensive line? You have to imagine with the 8 picks. How good can this team?
We'll address the offensive line with those 8 picks and then the cap room that they have, and hopefully that this could be a quick turnaround. You're seeing examples of it this year. Like, you look at the Chargers, who got Jim Harbaugh, right? You look at the Falcons,
Joe Alt,
and drafted Joe Alt in the first round and top 10 picks, and then you see Raheem Morris in Atlanta, like guys that are taking over teams that weren't very good last year, and they're getting pretty good success out of them this year. Now, I think that change from Flus to someone who is competent at their job makes a huge impact on this team right off the bat. Now, if you're talking about rebuilding your entire offensive line, which they probably have to do, that's going to take a little more time, because that offensive line is going to be some rookies and some guys who have never played in this system before, and they're going to have to gel together. That takes 6 to 8 weeks probably, Darius. So, like, you're looking at another half a season where they're trying to figure it out. But in terms of what they are now, what they were yesterday against the Patriots versus what they can be just by hiring a new head coach and getting an offensive coordinator who knows what football is, that can make a huge impact pretty quickly, Brandon, to answer your question. But the offensive line, that's going to take some time, man. That's going to take a little bit of time. Where are you at, Darius?
Agree with you about 90% of it, but the only thing I may, have something different to say is about the offensive line gelling. Now, true enough, the guy you bring in here, if you do it the right way, he's going to have his own people come in here. And if he's the right guy, he's going to have, people in the right place where the culture is going to be set before it's set on the field. And if you don't adhere to this culture, you're out of here. No nonsense. Like, if we bring the right guy, doesn't have Nate Davis still here. You know what I mean? The right guy is not going to keep putting up with Tyrese Stevenson and his BS, right? You know, you can't be up and down. You have to be consistently, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they did suspend Tyrese Stevenson for a half.
And Tyrese Stevenson quit this week, guys. I don't know if y'all were watching Tyrese Stevenson, but he had the worst game of his career that I've watched. He was obviously checked out in that game. He quit. As far as I'm concerned. He quit on this team.
Guys, V-Dog has a good question. Would y'all go after Mike Vrabel? He's only 46, retired next month. I think he's
we touched on this earlier. Vrabel is a very good option for this team. He's a guy who can bring an identity to this team. He's my second choice behind Bill Belichick. It's one of those two guys, and I thought they should have went after one of those two guys this past offseason, to be honest. And snubbing your nose at those guys and not even having a conversation was just complete negligence in my mind.
Or Raheem Morris,
arrogance. No good. What'd you say about Raheem Morris?
They didn't interview him either. There's another guy.
Well, they didn't interview anybody because they thought they were set, and now look at them. They're 4-5. They might lose 10 games in a row this season, guys. It's very
Dustin Cook says Stevenson is baby reacting to being punished for Hail Mary.
He is 100%.
Yeah, but see, that's the type of stuff you can't allow, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You see,
and you also got to know who your players are.
He don't dress out no more, bro.
All right, so let me ask you this, guys. Has Matt Eberflus entirely lost this locker room?
No.
Yes, sir. 100%.
I say that because the defense is still, playing at a pretty decent level.
I think we get that same results out of Eric Washington if Eberflus is gone, Darius. Then we'll get the same results from this defense that Matt Eberflus is
maybe more.
I think so. I don't think Matt Eberflus is inspiring confidence in these guys that he's going to make the right decisions for them and on an in-game basis, on a week-to-week basis. I think there's way too much talk from players about what they're doing in practice, what they're not doing in practice. This team sounds like, when you just hear these guys do their press conferences, they sound like a team that doesn't believe. They sound like a team that does not believe in the leaders in this building.
Well, I was stuck on the word completely. I don't think he's completely lost the team, because what they choose to do with this offense means everything this season. It means everything for this season. Because the defense is going to stay consistent.
Darius, you think if he makes a change on firing of Shane Waldron, the team will believe a little more in Matt Eberflus?
I think if they see the results of it, because I think these players honestly feel like Waldron is the issue. I truly believe it, bro.
Okay, but who hired Waldron, Darius? Who hired Waldron? Who chose him? Matt Eberflus. So
who kept Matt Eberflus?
Ryan Poles. And he let him make another choice for another offensive coordinator, and he got another choice for another offensive coordinator wrong.
So the Bears are the Bears regressing? Does it not, Caleb Williams? Are the Bears regressing? Does it get worse before it gets better because of Ryan Poles?
Well, we at rock bottom now.
Yeah, I really find it hard to see how it can get worse than losing to the Patriots 19-3. Yeah. I really find it hard to see that. But you look at this upcoming schedule, Darius and Brandon, and you look at the fact that they have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL, and this is what they're getting right now against teams they should have beaten. They're not going to beat these teams. They're not going to beat a team like the 49ers. They're not going to beat the Packers. They're not going to beat the Lions, who just won a game last night in which their quarterback threw 5 interceptions. They still found a way to win the game. This Bears team, I thought they had grit. I really did. I said this all through the beginning of this season, that will carry them through the season. They have grit. They're not going to quit. I was wrong. They have quit on this coach. They don't have the grit anymore. The Lions have grit. That's who has grit. I was wrong. The Bears do not have it.
I think the Bears win 3 games out of the division.
I don't see how. I thought they would go 3-3 going into this season, and with what I've seen, there's no way that I still think that. There's no way.
Call me crazy. I think they still get 3.
I mean that would be amazing.
But again, there has to be some adjustment. If nothing changes, then I'm on board with you. I don't think we win another game if nothing.
No,
changes.
Yeah, they have to make a change at the offensive.
You have to listen. That Wednesday morning, I expect to change.
But now you're halfway through your prepreration for the week.
Yeah.
like you gotta get ready.
It's gonna be in-house. It's gonna be. I think they already know.
They better. They fucking better. If they don't, then what are they doing?
I think they're already in motion. I think they're already getting things together, and they're just gonna put it out there. They're gonna put it out there when they put it out there. But I think they already know.
Comment, Brandon. Thank you for highlighting that comment. What I can't wrap my head around is Poles running it back with this coach. That thinking has me worried. Yeah, going forward in terms of Poles and his decision making, this is a bad decision that he made, and he doubled down on it. And it's hard to have confidence in that. Thank you, Slick Sophistication.
What's got to concern you is he went and signed Swift and traded for Allen and drafted Rome and traded for Sweat last year and drafted Caleb and did the retaining of Matt Eberflus.
It undid all of it.
Did it, guys? Did it? But I want to know: did it ruin it permanently? Like, not permanently. Did his failure at the head coach position derail everything that he intended on doing?
It has this season. It has this season, not permanently.
It's definitely put a wrinkle on this season, but permanently, I can't say that because if one season damages a player without injury or players that haven't been injured, damage them permanently, then they wasn't the guys anyway.
Poles has made enough good decisions to warrant him having another chance at picking his head coach. I believe that. I
do too.
And I really hope that it goes well, and I hope that ownership does not put their noses where it don't belong when it comes to this decision. You got to let Poles do the job that you hired him to do, and I have enough faith in Poles to take one more run at that. We'll see what that decision is, but again, it starts with letting go of the guys you have right now that are getting you terrible results, and something needs to be done. They need to serve up a sacrifice to the gods, and it needs to be fucking Waldron, man. Waldron needs to hit the chopping block. It just has to happen. Not let this guy call another play for your rookie number 1 overall quarterback. You cannot.
Bro, it's like this week is a determination of how the rest of this fucking season gonna go, bro. Like people, I'm not in denial about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not in denial about that. You have to make changes this season, and I think a lot of the guys are pissed at Flus because they haven't made any changes.
And Flus is out there saying it. We got to make adjustments. We obviously need to make adjustments. Okay, so
he about 2 weeks late, 2-3 weeks late, man. Yeah.
And a couple dollars short.
Yeah. So I think that's what's really got players pissed. Dude, you see this other side of the ball is crumbling.
Yeah, you want to make an adjustment? Hand in your resignation. I think that'll pretty much do it.
Well, here, think about this, guys. If you're a player and you're paid based on your merit, based on your performance, how you perform on the field, your statistics, do you win football games? Are you a part of winning football? That's how players get paid. That's why what players are judged on.
Yeah.
Coaches need to be judged the same fucking way. Shane Waldron right now, if he was a quarterback, he's had 3 games in a row where he's thrown 5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Would you start that guy the next week? I wouldn't. No coach would. So how do you justify keeping Waldron? It doesn't make sense. And if you keep him, you lose that locker room completely and utterly. It's done. It's done.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not concerned of what guys don't tell the media, V-Dog. I'm not. I'm more concerned of what guys tell the guys that they sit next to in those locker rooms. I'm concerned with what coaches tell guys in the locker room. I don't care about what they tell us. I don't care about
it's 2 different things.
Because they don't owe us anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're asking guys, a very emotional time how they feel about things. Shit, they probably won't like their mother.
Hold on, real quick, man. I'm sorry. You keep saying they don't owe us anything, and I agree with you to an extent, but this
Well,
game,
I'm talking about
they don't get paid if it's not for the fans.
But I'm talking about as far as
they do owe us. They do owe us.
I'm talking about talking and telling what they're doing. They don't owe that to us. They owe it to the players in the locker room.
Well, if you're not getting results,
performance, they owe that to the fans. But as far as the ins and outs of what's going on internally, they don't owe us that.
So if you're not giving us performance, then what are you giving us?
No, that's what I'm saying. They owe us performance. That's what I'm saying.
They're not giving it to us. And we deserve better as Bears fans. Bears fans in this chat, Bears fans watching this video, this stream, you deserve better than what the Bears are giving you. Darius, you deserve better than what the Bears are giving you.
True enough, but as far as comments and what they say at podiums and on telephones and microphones, they don't owe us that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Listen.
I like to look at things in perspective in the terms of how does an opposing team's fan base feel about a game approaching. So does the Packers fan base feel any different about going into Soldier Field if they do fire Shane Waldron?
I don't think so.
Is there a belief that maybe this offense is better?
I think Packers fans are looking at this Bears organization and us as Bears fans like we're a fucking joke. No matter what we do.
I think that's how. I think that's why I said it's truly embarrassing to be a fan of this team. It's not just painful.
Yes.
But do you think
them? No, I think they have the utmost confidence going into this game. I think the players in that locker room do too.
Do you think that their game plan would have to be different if someone else was hired as the offensive coordinator?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I would imagine, if you have a different play caller, then you're gonna want to look at Thomas Brown and what he's.
You have to know what to expect. That's part of coaching. You have to know what they expect.
But in terms of them being afraid of this matchup,
afraid, nah. But hell, shit,
they're looking at
the Falcons wasn't afraid of the Saints and their new coaching. And you see what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's a week-to-week thing in this league, bro. We all know that. Like, we blew Jacksonville out. Jacksonville holds the Vikings, who's been one of the best offenses this season, to 12 points.
Well, I think it turned out to be. Did it turn out to be 15 or was it 12? But either way, Darnold threw 3 interceptions in that game, right? So I mean, that's really what that comes down to.
This is what I'm saying. Like, imagine if Jared Goff, if the Texas field goal kicker makes the field goal and the Texans win that game last night. Does Detroit think differently about Jared Goff?
I don't. I think he's done enough to earn that goodwill, but that's a good question. That's a good question.
I don't think so. You know what I mean?
No, they still have confidence, and I think they still have confidence in their guys.
Again, the guys
they've shown a lot more than what this Bears team has. We're not coming from the same place as the Lions fan, right?
Nah, absolutely. The Lions are a lot far. The Lions are farther ahead than than us at this time. For 2 reasons for sure. The fucking head coach and the offensive line.
And the offensive coordinator who's going to be a head coach. Like, they got a lot of things working for them. And that's a team you're going to have to play twice. And the Chicago Bears, the way that they're currently performing, they don't stand a chance against that team. They don't stand a chance.
We've been a lot worse and beat them. Not swept them, but we did beat them.
For sure, but if you're betting on that game, Darius, you're not taking the Bears. If you're putting your money on it, you ain't putting it on the Bears.
Give me a nice spread. We never know.
Plus 17.
Hey, I'll take it. With that plus 17, I'll take the Bears. Well, I mean, what?
Well, Caleb Williams.
What's up, Kyle Harris?
In big moments this season, we've seen Caleb Williams play with a lot of nerves. His homecoming game, obviously the game against Tennessee, his NFL debut. Will he play with the nerves he's had that we've previously seen against this Green Bay team at home?
I think he's playing with nerves every game. The way this offensive line is playing, bro.
I mean, just the way the offense is. All together, he has the right to be nervous about it, especially if no changes are being made.
Guys, we got
V-Dog
over
asked
60 in the chat right now. Thank
Guys,
you, Kyle
thanks for
Harris,
joining
for
us,
joining
guys.
us.
Everybody hit that like button. V-Dog asked this question, and I'm confused why he's asking it based on what he's heard everybody just say, but I guess we can answer it. Brandon, start with you, man. Do you believe in Flus?
Do I believe in him?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
No.
Do y'all believe in Flus? Honest question for all three.
No, I don't. I believe Flus. I believe of the head coaches that will be fired this season, Flus probably has the best chance of having a job as a coordinator.
But the least chance of ever having a head coaching job.
Oh, he will never again. No, he will never again. Didn't make sense when he was hired. But no, I don't believe in Eberflus as a head coach.
Darius?
Nah, I don't, because especially if he doesn't make any adjustments this week, because he's shown himself to be weak, man. And you know that's what these players kind of see. They're kind of seeing it like, dude, we on a sinking ship. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. And he gets in front of these microphones and refuses to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? Then blame other people. You know, like he's weak. So no.
Yeah, hell no is the answer to that question, B-Dog. Hopefully you're picking up on that from this entire episode in which we've completely dogged Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron. I mean,
so be it.
There's nothing to have faith in, guys. And we should all be very disappointed with what the Bears are putting on the field for us to take in on Sundays. It's not acceptable.
And to be honest, when things are going well, we give Flus credit for some things. But when you earn, criticism, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
This criticism ain't falling out the sky. They all earn this, man.
Dustin, Darius, tomorrow we wake up. Do we read in the headlines tomorrow, or you have a notification on your phone that says Shane Waldron was terminated as offensive coordinator?
I mean, I don't know about tomorrow. I hope so. Like I said earlier, I hope I wake up.
You have to, right? Because you got to get your new offensive coordinator. It's got to have a few days.
Yeah, but like I said, I think
Darius said that Wednesday. Darius said
the guy that they're promoting is in house. So you know what I'm saying, they already know I think they already know what's going on.
Should be an easy transition, but yeah, I mean, Waldron needs to be gone.
Yeah,
why would you wait? Why would you wait? It should have been today. It should have been today.
I think they're waiting to tell us. But as far as the movements in the inside, I think they're already making moves to do what they got to do.
Yeah, but what Brandon's saying makes sense, because like you just have all of guys like us and other people talking about this, and that's all they're talking about. Why do you want that attention on your team? You need to get it off of you as quickly as possible. Make a decision and get the fuck going. That's it. You're dragging your feet on this. I don't have an answer for why you would wait. You could say they're waiting to tell us, but why would they do that? Why? What's the point?
If you know he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know,
they operate ass backwards. That's what we all know for sure.
It's not about a point, man. It's just a bunch of fucking stubbornness, man. This is what they do. And I'm just going by what they do, because Wednesday is the day when they really get to put things in motion. And like they said Sunday night, we want to take the time to think about this and all that. They already know, bro.
Guys, we want to thank you for joining us again, everybody in the chat. V-Dog says Adam Schefter and Courtney Cronin mentioned Flus won't have an input at all offensively going forward.
He hasn't had any.
I don't think he has.
He had to this point.
I don't think he has had any input, and if he has, it's been terrible.
Yeah. He should be saying, "I've had nothing to do with this offense this entire time." Guys.
That's what I mean. The Flus' only chance here to at least get through the rest of the season.
He says he meant Shane.
And then
if you can find I have not seen anything of that nature.
Then Shane should just be terminated.
Yes, exactly. If he's not going to have any
if you can find
what's he going to be your defensive backs coach moving forward?
Hey, look,
I haven't seen that anywhere. So
remember when New England had a defensive coach calling offensive plays?
Matt Patricia, the infamous.
Listen, if that can bring somebody off the street to improve this offense, hell, you might well hire them as the head coach.
Thomas Brown might actually improve some things on this
I
offense.
think so, man. I think
because it's just so simple. You just do simple. Just do simple.
man.
Thomas Brown would probably, as a result of being a new coordinator, right? Not a lot of experience, would probably just naturally do the things the Bears should do.
Football.
You know what I mean? Right. Run the football.
Pat McAfee today. Okay. Listen, if you're like Brandon's saying, if you're saying that Shane Waldron is going to have no say in no input on the offense going forward, you're saying Shane Waldron doesn't have a job. I just feel like that would be a little more prevalent out there on the news cycle in terms of like, if that's the case, like they would be reporting Shane Waldron is fucking fired. Like that's what they're saying when they're saying that. You don't have a job. Step into my office. You're fucking fired. That's it. That's it.
I think more importantly, fellas, I think us as Bears fans and people, people across the country as Bears fans, I think we're just hugely disappointed because a lot of us had
high expectations. Yes.
To the moon expectations. And for this thing to be going.
It was okay. It made sense to have those expectations. This roster is talented.
For things to be going the way it's going, it's a huge disappointment to us all.
Yep.
But,
and that falls at Matt Eberflus's feet, and it falls at Ryan Poles' feet for retaining Matt Eberflus, dude.
Caleb is playing like a rookie.
Which you should expect, which we all should have expected.
Now, there have been a couple of outliers, like Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, But even then, Justin Herbert just went full bore. Like he was out of his mind. Andrew Luck was too. But
so was Cam Newton. Cam Newton was crazy good his rookie season.
Yeah. And they threw the ball a whole lot.
Yeah.
They all threw the ball a whole lot. They were out of their mind. But typically, man, this thing takes some time for these guys to get adjusted to this league. And it usually starts about week 9 or week 10. It usually starts that way. Because as great as CJ Stroud was statistically, his first 8 games left a whole lot to be desired. And these things
take time. They take
time.
He
only won 9 games. He only won 9 games. Case Keenum came in and won a game. So that tells you where that team was. You know what I mean? So we just got to give it some time. And it's going to burn a little bit we're going to be very salty at the end of this season when this shit don't go right. But we got time, man. We got time.
Guys, I want to give a shout out to a few more of our sponsors of TC's World of Wonders, your headquarters for Dream Sports jerseys and memorabilia. River Street Tavern, guys, located 102 North River Street. I think it's Wednesday nights, $2 burgers, East Dundee. Go check them out, guys. I think I already said a few of these, right? Yeah. So I do want to ask you.
Icons, framing, and memorabilia.
Elite Icons, framing, and memorabilia, Dustin. Let's hear about those guys.
They do framing and memorabilia.
And they're elite. Well done.
There's a DJ Moore signing coming up with them too, guys. So that they did a Keenan Allen signing October 1st. They got a DJ Moore signing coming up. Hit us up on Facebook. You can see the dates and times for that. Anything else we want to get into, guys, here before we get out of here? I thought that this comment by V-Dog was very honest, and I appreciated it. He says, to be honest with y'all, I was pumped for the OC hire at first coming from the Rams offense. I mean, I really thought that the strength of Waldron coming into this season was going to be his ability to adapt to the players he has and create a system that will maximize their strengths. I was completely wrong as well. V-Dog. He has done the exact opposite.
We were far off.
Exact opposite. It's just been him trying to fit square pegs into round holes. That's what it's been.
Based off his background.
So I'll ask this because let's just hang out for about 5 more minutes, guys. I'll ask this. Is there an effect that this organization has over good coaches? Because Waldron, by every measure, was a good offensive coordinator until he became the Bears offensive coordinator. And guys like Nagy, I don't know so much about Flus. I don't think his resume was all that impressive, but there's some guys that have had some accolades and things to things that really deserving of getting.
Mark Trestman won a championship in the Canadian Football League, dude. Come on,
things deserving of getting a head coaching job, and they just don't make it. Dustin, you said to yourself, this franchise, they chew you up and they spit you out, and.
Yeah, man. Bro.
How much?
I don't think there's a curse on this Bears organization.
No, but is Shane Waldron a guy who's doing things to the tune of Matt Eberflus, a person who loses sight of situational football, like how to just call a game normally when it matters most? Because that's what Flus does, and all of a sudden that's what Waldron does. Guys, he called a halfback draw on a 2-minute drill with no timeouts. Nobody does that. That's just not a thing. So he did another thing this week where we all just turn our head. We look at the person sitting next to us.
Brandon, I really think that was. I don't think that it was a play after a play. They were in the hurry up. So I don't know if Waldron called that or if Caleb checked into
it, right?
Yeah, that I felt it felt to me like it was that. Honestly, I can't believe that Shane Waldron would call that play. I just can't. It doesn't make any sense.
Man.
It doesn't. But yes, he's been bad since he got here. I don't think that there's a curse on this franchise in terms of coaches just sucking when they come here. I think we don't put the things together properly. I really like Darius was talking about keeping the offensive line coach from a previous regime and forcing them onto an offensive coordinator was not a good decision. And I just think that those ass backwards things cause things to not line up properly when we bring people, forcing a GM to keep a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like those things, they don't make sense.
VDog says, would you all go after Gary Kubiak's other son? I think he's talking about Clint, an offensive coordinator. I think both are play callers. Clint is the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints right now.
I think he might be talking about another one. Is there another one that's out there?
Not sure.
Shit. Gary Kubiak's been busy.
Going back to Shane Waldron, we have to understand that Waldron was offensive coordinator for Pete Carroll, right?
A defensive coordinator.
Pete Carroll's not having certain shit, bro.
Maybe Waldron got here and was like, "Hey, I get to make." He got here,
and Eberflus made him feel comfortable with doing a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very good point, Darius.
Seriously, man.
Because Eberflus, we were just saying, he has not had his fingerprints on this offense all season, I don't think. Yeah. I think he's just told Waldron, do what you do, and I'll do what I do.
Yeah, that's the wrong approach, man.
That's why we need a real head coach on this.
Guys, like will it change? Will a change be made this week that gives them any sort of optimism towards this game this weekend with the Green Bay Packers at home?
It's
at home.
Firing Waldron. It's firing Waldron. That's the only change.
There has to be a change this week. There has to be. Because if you don't change nothing this week, then everybody's going after to lose to the Packers.
A lot of people in the chat have said that they're going to wait until after the Packers beat the hell out of the Bears to make a change. Like that's what's going to get them off their asses. And again, if that's the case, then we're just counting on these Bears to be the Bears. You know what I'm saying?
If they make no changes this week, man, they're gonna get the dog beat out of them, man. And
I think they're gonna get beat either way, but I think the best chance you give your rookie quarterback to perform is getting a new guy calling plays for this offense. That's just really what it boils down to me. It boils down to Caleb Williams being treated like
a rookie quarterback.
Like a rookie quarterback for the rest of the season. Yes, exactly, Brandon. Thank you. It boils down to that.
Yeah.
Making the game easier on Caleb Williams so that he does not continue to develop and reinforce bad habits that he will then carry into the next season.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, he's pressed and he's definitely trying to make big plays bigger than what they should be.
Guys, on that note, I want to thank Cliff. VDog Trax was in the building for a little bit there, guys. Slick Sophistication, Kyle Harris. I know we had a couple. Ant Mass was in the building for a little bit. Sean was in here.
Dennis Moody
was in here. Yeah, guys. Carrie, I think, was in the one. With Carrie, was it Carrie something? I think I saw him.
Guys, hit the like button, please. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Friend. We love y'all. We thank y'all for putting in these comments tonight and keeping this conversation moving. You guys are always the stars of the show when it comes to CSP and when it comes to 4-Star Chicago Sports Podcast. Keep joining the shows. Keep giving us awesome content to talk about. We love y'all very much for that. You make the job.
Darius, where can we find you at?
Oh, find me at CSP Monday nights and Wednesday nights.
Sunday mornings.
And Sunday mornings. Listen, I still have to get used to that, man. But yeah, Sunday mornings.
Yeah, don't discredit yourself.
Saturday afternoons.
Nah.
Friday nights.
At 5 Friday night, catch me at your nearest bar, man. I'll be there.
All right.
First drinks on me.
Dustin, where can we?
That's a bit of a hike, though, man. Shit.
Dustin, where can we find you at?
You can find me here on Monday nights. Before this, we do our show, The House Hall Hangover, for 4-Star Chicago Sports Podcast. 6:00 start time, prompt as always. Great show tonight we had, guys, so please go check it out, 4-Star Chicago Sports. And then Thursday nights, me and you, Brandon, we do the bare minimum. We do it at 11:30 every night. After the Thursday night football game. It's always a lot of fun. So yeah. Shout out to Trax, guys. He definitely brought us all into this and helped everybody a lot in getting better at this and really made it possible for us to branch out and do other things and still maintain a really good relationship with him. So hell yeah,
I want to say this,
love, paying it forward, man. He's a hell of a
I want to say this, Trax, shout out for sure. Trax as always for these Veterans shows.
Yeah.
And it is Veterans Day. Yeah. We do want to thank you for your service, Trax, as always.
And all of our veterans, anybody in the chat, anybody watching.
Yeah, all you guys. Never want to lose sight of that.
Thanks for your service.
How important that is to, I know myself, at least for sure, but I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of Dustin and Darius.
100%.
How much that means to us and our families. We all have somebody, I'm sure.
My brother's in the Army. My brother's in the Army.
We all have somebody we know who's served.
12 years now, actually. I can't remember. So yeah, I gotta actually send him a text. I'm thanking him for his service. I was talking to him earlier.
Thanks to everybody in the chat, guys. Thanks to everybody who served, especially today, guys, and every day. Thank you so much, Darius, Dustin. Always fun hanging out. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.
Victoria says, "Great show, guys. Made me feel better." Great, Cliff. Thanks for joining us, man. We're glad we could help.
That's what we're here for.
To vent, to get out the frustration.
And you made us feel better by giving us something to talk.
Yes,
hell yeah, man.
Shout out to the whole chat for sure.
Guys, have a good night. Bears fans, everybody bear down, Chi-Town.
Bear down.
We will see you. Hopefully we're talking about a win. And then of course, guys, Chicago Sports Podcast has another show on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. And hopefully that we'll be talking about the new changes that's come about.
Y'all gonna have something to talk about for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, it's gonna be something to talk about.
Bear down, guys.